NFL. Steelers pass rusher TJ Watt underwent surgery for a partially collapsed lung after what's called a dry needling treatment at the team facility. His brother JJ Watt posted on social media that TJ is expected to leave the hospital today. Our senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler with us now. So what can you tell us about how long TJ Watt is going to be out?
David, I can tell you that he is expected to make a full recovery. He is hopeful to resume playing football again sometime soon, but that's not a slam dunk. There's no firm timeline here. And honestly, people I've checked with the Steelers don't exactly know when he's going to be back. Now, he's known to be rigorous with his rehab. He's a guy who likes to be ahead of schedule. So he's certainly going to try to get back for the playoff push. But right now, everybody involved, from the Steelers to Watt's family to even the NFL Players Union, which is monitoring this for good reason, it just wants him to be able to rest up and be good to go. And it seems like that's going well so far.
Yeah, Steelers-Dolphins on Monday Night Football. So take us through some other injury updates that we're looking for in Week 15.
Yeah, so Joey Bosa should be back in action. He is off the injury report, had a hamstring issue and a bit of a wrist issue this week. Huge matchup between Buffalo and New England. Bills are slowly getting a little healthier, so they'll have Spencer Brown, their right tackle, back as well. Dalton Kincaid, their tight end, came back last week and had no setbacks on his issues, so things are looking relatively good. They do have Christian Benford, their star cornerback, is questionable, so that'll be one to watch. Bosa, good to go off the edge for the Bills. And then Devontae Adams. So the Rams go through this rinse and repeat every week where they list him as questionable, but they expect him to play. That's the case again this week. He got a hamstring. I'm told firmly he is going to play, and he's been a huge star for LA opposite Puka Nacua. They got that 1-2 punch. Big matchup with the Lions, but they will have Adams in the lineup. And then lastly, this is one to watch for fantasy owners, Josh Jacobs, knee swelling. So he is listed as questionable, was limited in practice today, but didn't do anything else all week. It's really been a week-to-week situation with him as he's dealing with this. No major issue shown on the MRI or the test, but it's a matter of seeing how he feels on Saturday, see if that swelling can subside before they make a firm determination.
That would be big. The guy spends a lot of time in the end zone, 12 rushing touchdowns, tied for third in the league. Jeremy giving us the latest there. For more on Week 15, here's Tony and Mike with PTI's bonus topic.
All right, Wilbon, which Week 15 matchup is the most intriguing?
We're going to skip over my personal matchup of Bears hosting Browns.
You don't have to skip over that if that's what you think.
I mean, there's a guy in that game who could break the sack record. I hope he doesn't break it in that game, Myles Garrett.
By burying Caleb Williams
Yeah,
three
exactly.
or 4 times. Yeah.
So we're going to skip right over that,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go, Tony, west to Denver, where at the Mile High location, they'll be hosting the Cheeseheads. Packers at Denver. That could be a Super Bowl preview. I hope not, but that game's also got consequence. Those teams are battling also, not just in their conferences, but they're battling for one seed in their conference, each one of them. So that's my game.
This is a question of personal preference and taste.
Yes.
If I'm going to be honest, the game that intrigues me most is the game between Seattle and the Colts. Because it's hard for me to believe that a 44-year-old grandfather is going to walk out on that field in an NFL game. If he does, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it like I'm watching a horror movie with my hands over my eyes. But I'm going to watch it. And I don't think it's the most important game. My judgment on the most important game, I think I'm going to land on the Rams and the Lions. Because if the Lions lose this game, I think they're unlikely to make the playoffs. And I like the Lions. I mean, I've looked at the Lions the last 3 years and thought they are an emerging
window closing. If they lose this in a reduced.
I don't know that. I'm not going to look forward, but I'm going to say that it would be disappointing because to me, the Lions, it looks like the whole is less than the sum of their parts because they got great players. If the Rams lose, they are in danger of losing the number 1 seed in the NFC and having to go on the road in the playoffs. And I don't think a team from Southern California wants to go to Lambeau or Seattle. I just don't. I don't think they want to do that. So the consequences of this game strike me as greater than the other games.
There's some games, not just that.
And we haven't mentioned Buffalo, New England.
Consequence. The Buffalo, New England is certain of consequence. That's it. We're done. Where's consequence? Back to you.
We are unconsequential.
No.
We are. And old.
Thanks, fellas. To Thursday. Or like Philip Rivers is going to start for the Colts Sunday in Seattle. The 44-year-old hasn't played in the game since 2021, but he came out of retirement because Indy has 2 quarterbacks out, and third stringer Riley Leonard is nursing a knee injury of his own. Sunday will mark 1,800 days since Rivers' last start. If he does indeed get the nod this week, it would be the third longest span between starts since 1950. He'd be just the fifth quarterback age 44 or older to start in NFL games. You just don't see a lot of grandfathers running around on the field. Stephen Older has more on this bizarre twist to the Colts season.
Thanks, David. Philip Rivers' arrival has given the Colts an obvious boost of energy and enthusiasm. But there's also an effort underway to keep things in perspective and keep expectations realistic.
He's not here to save the season. He's here to be a great leader, a great teammate, go out there, operate the offense, get us in and out of the right plays, and that's the process, and that's the way he's taken it. I will say it was pretty good. I mean, a guy that hasn't been out there in 5 years to go and practice the way he did this week was pretty impressive to watch. So,
Rivers looked the part in practice and threw the ball with velocity, and he still possesses that quick trigger release that we saw for 17 seasons. He's also still demanding of his teammates, who he pushed throughout to raise their level. The next steps are as follows. The Colts are expected to meet Friday afternoon to make a final decision, and then you should perhaps look for a roster move on Saturday afternoon, where the Colts would have to elevate Rivers from the practice squad to the active roster. That would make him eligible to play on Sunday, and we're now one step closer to that becoming a reality.
Two heavyweights in their respective conferences locking up Sunday in Denver. The Packers visiting the Broncos. Denver's tied with New England atop the AFC at 11-2, riding a 10-game win streak. Green Bay has won 4 in a row to pull into second in the NFC. A Packers win and a Rams loss would put Green Bay atop the NFC. Mina is back with us for her Week 15 deep dives. I know you see everything, Mina, but what will you specifically be looking for when Jordan Love and the Packers offense takes on that stout Denver defense?
I'm very interested in seeing if the Broncos defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, changes up some of his tendencies. This is the Broncos defense that blitzes a lot. They play a ton of man coverage, the most in the league. But unfortunately for them, Jordan Love has annihilated both of those things. Incredible versus the blitz, 90 QBR, second QBR also against man coverage. Now, all that said, if I'm Denver, you like your matchup with Patrick Surtain back in the lineup against Christian Watson, perhaps, but it depends on how good you feel about the rest of your secondary and their ability to cover these Packers pass catchers. So I'll be interested in seeing if Vance changes it. He has shown a willingness to change up his game plans based on opponents. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some of that here.
Jordan Love right now on a little bit of a heater, 3 or more passing touchdowns in the last 2 games. How about the other side of the ball, Mina? Bo Nix out there against the Green Bay defense.
Yeah, so I talked about Jordan Love versus Denver being a strength-on-strength matchup. On the flip side, the Packers defense actually has a specific vulnerability, which is they really struggle against 10 to 20-yard passes. Against 10 intermediate passes, they're actually dead last in EPA per play allowed. So naturally, that would be where you would want to attack if you're Denver. But the problem is Nix has been inconsistent throwing to that part of the field. Now, I will say, you saw there about his off-target percentages. It has gone better as the season has gone along, as he's shown more of an ability to push the ball downfield. But he's going to have to continue that improvement in this one, I think, to exploit this zone-based Packers secondary, because if not, they're going to have success rushing the passer.
Graduate level stuff as always, Mina. Broncos seeking their 11th straight win. Mina boosting our football IQ right here on SportsCenter.
Kyle's with me right now. Kyle Pitts was a tough matchup for the Bucs last night. Let's talk about other matchups for Week 15. Staying in the NFC, Mina, what matchups are you watching between the Lions and the Rams?
I want to see if the Lions can protect Jared Goff. It's been an issue for them all season long. Interior pass pressure in particular has been a problem. There's changes, of course, in personnel on the Lions offensive line, and they're going up against a fearsome Rams pass rush that has done a really good job of finding ways to get pressure up the middle. You saw that in particular, by the way, against Sam Darnold and that Seahawks offensive line. They run games, they use blitzes, they use simulated pressures. And that's something that Detroit has to prepare for. I would expect to see a fair amount of quick game. I would like to see Jared Goff put on the move, boot action from under center, but they have to find a way to mitigate that pass rush. Otherwise, they won't be able to get the ball to their pass catchers, where I do think they actually have an advantage.
And let's look at the Packers and the Broncos. What's the matchup you're watching there?
Yeah, I love this one. This is an amazing schematic matchup. Packers offense versus the Broncos defense, particularly when they play man coverage. The Broncos play the most man coverage in the NFL. They are exceptionally good at it. Unfortunately, the Packers offense is is also exceptionally good at it. Jordan Love's second in QBR against man, and especially since Christian Watson has come back to the lineup. So I think it's going to be interesting to see whether the Broncos' brilliant defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, trusts his secondary to hold up 1-1 against these Packers pass catchers. Might have to make some adjustments as the game goes along based on whether or not they're able to exploit it, but that's a matchup I'm watching.
And the Patriots have a chance to clinch the AFC East with a win against the Bills on Sunday. What's going to be the most important matchup on the field there?
Candidly, you could say this about every Bills game, but it's really going to come down to whether or not they can run the ball on New England. The Patriots' run defense was fantastic the first few weeks of the season, but since Week 9, they have really fallen off. They are 31st in success rate against the run. Some of that has to do with the absence of Milton Williams, who is still not playing. Harris Tonga, their nose tackle, is going to be back for this one, I believe. But whether or not they can do so, especially if they end up playing nickel, if the Buffalo Bills put 3 wide receivers on the field and trust them to block those Patriots